I am by no means a professional or even a good artist in the first place, but I do love making shit. Making shit is kind of my bread and butter, and I'm going to show you guys 4 things that make making shit a lot more fun and just a little less painful at times. Let's get into it. The first thing is kind of a no-brainer for some people. This wasn't a no-brainer for me for years because there's not much up here. A good pair of scissors makes a huge difference. If you see these like baby blue little like ding dong scissors back there, I, as an adult woman, I'm 25 years old, was using those fucking scissors and they killed my hand. And they also like can't cut through that much. But my lovely, lovely boyfriend got these for me at Harbor Freight. And, you know, you'd think like a hardware supply store, why the fuck are you getting scissors from there? These things are insane. They are super heavy duty. They cut through cardboard like it's nothing. Obviously, sidebar, having an X-Acto blade or even like a rotary cutter is a great thing to have, but like, if you're paranoid like me, but like, oh, what if the blade snaps? You can use these. They cut through cardboard great. I use cardboard all the time and paper mache. These are great for that. They're not the most precise, so that's why you have your kind of thin little baby scissors like this. These are from Hobby Lobby. They're from like the Hoops and Threads collection. It's like their kind of lower cost type scissors. You could probably get better scissors from like Westcott or something, but like these are fine, and like I've used the fuck out of them. I've literally never had problems. I just like how thin like the tip is. It's very precise. So it's not that much of an upfront investment to like get good scissors. And once you have like a really nice heavy pair, it's gonna last you a while. If you're getting like cheap, shitty, like baby doo-doo fart scissors like that, they're not gonna last you long, and you're gonna spend more money on buying shitty scissors over time versus just investing in a good pair. Invest in your shit. If you are intimidated by that front cost, so I recommend trying the Goodwill craft section. I have found so much good craft supplies secondhand. Check your Goodwills. Check your local thrift stores, especially community thrift stores, like little local ones. Craft supplies is so cheap. Get some good scissors. Do yourself a favor. Now, the next thing I'm going to discuss may be a little specific depending on what mediums you use. Personally, I'm a mixed media artist. I make masks, I sculpt, I love making beaded jewelry, paper mache, I paint. I'm a little bit everywhere. So having a good selection of good adhesives is very tantamount to what I make. Like, I need so much fucking glue when I make stuff. So it's really good having a lot of glue with me. So here's like the glue roll call of all the glue I think you should get when you make stuff. Because for a while, I was just kind of like using Elmer's Crafters glue and like shrugging and like maybe Mod Podge. But like, you know, for the past, I would say 2 years, I've tried to kind of up my game with stuff like that. Now that I'm in a bit more of a creative workflow. And now I kind of know what I need and kind of know what I need to use. So here are my recommendations for you. Kind of a sealant, mainly an adhesive. Like if you're making a scrapbooking junk journal, you already know you got to get your girl Mod Podge. It is your jack of all trades. Anytime I make shrinky dinks like this one on my ear, I do like 2 coats of Mod Podge, and they are safe as shit. Now, sometimes it may dry a little weird depending on what you're putting it on, but like it's so versatile that I don't really have a problem with it ever. It's a little, I would say Mod Podge can be a little overpriced depending on where you go, but like it's definitely one of the few reasons I will like go to Michael's just so I can hit the Mod Podge with a coupon, just to make it a bit cheaper. Because Michael's has fake fucking sales. So I try to avoid them like the plague. Number 2, this is typically not the go-to. This is like, I was in a pinch kind of glue stick. Typically, this would be a Yoo-Hoo glue stick. It's UHU. Right now, I'm using the Elmer's all-purpose glue sticks. This brand is like, but I think having like an abundance of glue sticks is pretty handy because if you think you're set on glue, wrong. You probably need a few more glue sticks because when you run out in the middle of a fucking project, it's so annoying. But glue sticks good. Me like glue sticks. I don't use them on everything, but there are certain things like journaling. It works great. I literally did my first entry like 2 weeks ago for my first video, and I'm hooked. It is a problem. I love making stuff. The third thing, and probably my most frequently used item outside the Mod Podge, tacky glue. Every crafty bitch knows about tacky glue. It's the best glue ever. It is so good. You can use it on fabric. You can use it on canvas. You can use it on, like, it's good. It's not, like, the strongest in the world, so, like, if you want a stronger glue, that's the next recommendation, but this is incredibly versatile, and it's very tried and true. For my bag that I used in my What's in My Bag video, that's how I adhered those, like, fabric pieces on there, which is some tacky glue, and it's some, like, fabric medium finisher. And it's held up great, like rain and shine. It's done great. Tacky glue is great. Get yourself some tacky glue. Next on the glue roster, obviously the hot glue gun. I mostly only use hot glue on, like, when I'm making a Therian mask, but, like, it's still really handy. And if you're going to a furry convention, put this shit in your bag. You'll save someone's life. Once again, Harbor Freight came in clutch. This is, like, stupid cheap from there. And glue sticks are usually cheaper per stick at Harbor Freight. Fun fact. And then, this is kind of, like, everybody has this laying around, but in case you don't know, you have your E6000 glue. If you're doing any sort of jewelry making, get yourself some E6000. It's, without question, it is the best adhesive for jewelry making and just adhering shit. Anytime I'm making something that is going to be, like, used frequently and has a bunch of charms, like, let's say you're making a headband and you have, like, cabochons on there, put those on there with E6000, let it cure for, like, 2 days, depending on how much you use, it will not budge. This is great glue. It's like $5. And then, this is a bit more radical, but I am a paper mache freak, and it's technically cheaper per ounce to have a whole gallon of glue. Funny story, this is on, like, my Christmas list for 2025. I had 2 separate family members give me glue, so I have 2 giant fucking gallons. I think I'm going to die if I say glue one more time, but the point is, having a few different options is very good when you make quite a few different things. It's very fun. Now, this next thing is a little niche, but I think regardless of what you're doing and what you're making, having a section for your scraps. I'm not saying hold on to every scrap, but usable chunks of medium that you're not using in your current project, like leftovers, set them aside in a bin. You will definitely find a use for them in another project, especially if you do a junk journaling or mixed media where you're gluing stuff and collaging. You will find a use for your scraps. I would say if your scraps go beyond, like, I would say, like, a small bin, it kind of borders into hoarding. I think sometimes in the name of sustainability, a lot of people just hold on to shit, and then it just turns into mess. Being an artist is very messy sometimes, but just having scraps and then just kind of setting those aside, very handy. A lot of times I'm, like, lining my Therian mask, which I'm still very much in the baby learning phase of learning how to make these damn things. Lining them often happens with scraps because no one's gonna see it except for me, so, like, might as well put them to use there. And yeah, if you ever have anything niche or weird you're working on a project, you can use scraps. It's just very handy. It's very nice, and it also just means you're wasting a little bit less when you're making stuff. And the last thing that I would recommend and say is very essential to me keeping my head on straight when I'm making stuff is having a small variety of mediums to choose from. Because usually my biggest ruts happen when I'm working on a project. Like right now, I'm working on, like, this tall canvas painting of, like, Virgin Mary. I'm hitting this rut and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm working on it too long. I need to step aside and work on a different project that isn't painting. I have a breadth of options. I could do rock paint. I could decorate some rocks. I could do some junk journaling. I could sculpt. I could do oil pastels. I could do blah, 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 blah. And, like, this doesn't mean, like, TikTokify your hobbies and, like, spend $1 bajillion on, like, fucking markers and every art supply under the sun. I mean, maybe spend, like, $5 or $10 tops on, like, different mediums and then see what speaks to you and be like, okay, if I'm kind of in, like, a tough spot with a piece, I can gravitate to this. Like, most of the stuff that I have back here behind me for my mediums, like, I got a bit of crayons for, like, $5 at Goodwill. It was, like, a fat bin of them. So sometimes when I'm stuck on something, I'll just, like, color or just do something in crayon. That's, like, very fun and relaxing. Oil pastels are very affordable and, like, they're very versatile to work with. Acrylic paint is dirt cheap, so if you don't typically paint, it's a very cheap thing to get into. Clay, stuff like that. It's good to kind of test things out and try new things, and that has really just kind of broadened my horizons. I think it's also just very good for your brain. So try new shit, have new shit accessible to you. It doesn't mean that you have to like try a hobby and give up on a hobby, but even just like experimenting. I would recommend at least making it like tangentially related to what you're currently working on. Like if you're into colored pencils, maybe try oil pastels so it's a smoother transition. Like if you hot jump from like, working with, ink markers, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and try sewing for the first time, you have a higher chance of not liking that just because it's something a bit newer and a bit more foreign compared to what you're currently doing. But if it's something similar to what you typically do, I think you're more likely to enjoy that more. And it's also a little less of an investment, like financially, comparatively. And that's it. Those are my 4 things that are essential for me to make stuff, or however you want to phrase that. I hope this is helpful to you guys. Put in the comments below if there are certain things that you do that are essential to your art space and how you make things. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.